We're going to play a top 3 challenge here. I'm going to say a place where computer vision could be useful, and Amir's going to try to come up with 3 ways you could use Kibsi, and then we'll go back and forth and see who trips up first. So, Amir, we'll start really easy. How do I use Kibsi at the loading dock?
So you could use it to count inventory as it goes into a truck. You could look at dwell time. You could look at total load time. That was 3.
That's 3. Good job.
Excellent. How could you use Kibsi in manufacturing?
Oh, you could watch manufacturing processes, like count the number of items that come through. You could look at defects, and you could look at the people interaction with the line.
What if I don't know the objects I'm looking at? What if they change all the time? How would I do that then?
Well, you could look for things like motion on the conveyor belt. So is an object, any object, moving on the conveyor belt, and is the conveyor belt moving at all? So you could kind of generalize away from the objects on the belt to the belt and movement.
That was a bonus round.
Bonus round, yeah. How would I use Kibsi in the truck yard?
In a truck yard, okay. So you could see, making sure you can count people as they come. Hold on.
Oh, I got him once.
All right, so you can look at trucks as they come and go, make sure that their license plate matches those on your manifest. You can look to see, again, how long are they waiting around before they're ready to load or unload, whatever the process is. And you can make sure that they're not lingering too long.
I don't know. Yeah, that was weak. We're gonna give 2 points for that.
I could use Kibsi in an airport.
Oh, airport. That's fun. You could do things like safety, like abandoned bags, or security, I suppose is the better word. Like someone left their bag and walked away. The number 1 problem I hate about airports, which is the overhead bin situation. You could kind of proactively count people's rollerboards as they go on the airplane and just know when we're out of space, instead of like this whole thing where half the jetway has to come back out and check their bags. And then you could look at the ramp. I think it's really interesting to look at what happens, in terms of the plane pulling in, the gate extending, the fuel truck, and all that, kind of the whole process. You can measure in time different elements. How would we use Kibsi in an oil refinery?
Gauges come to mind. There's a lot of gauges in oil refineries that I think have to be within some sort of range. You can use Kibsi to look at these otherwise analog and dumb gauges to alert people. You can look for safety for sure. There's a lot of things that can hurt you in that environment. So whether it's people moving equipment or in the wrong place in general, not wearing appropriate equipment, you can do that. And I think there's generally vehicular traffic that you have to kind of monitor, make sure that the vehicles are doing the right things, and again, within safety constraints. All right, I'm gonna give you an easy topic, but you're gonna have to give 5.
Oh God.
What are 5 things you could do with forklifts with Kibsi?
Oh, okay, let's try. Speed, like how fast are they going? Are they being unsafe? How close they're getting to like the building objects, the racks, like that kind of thing. How close they're getting to people. Cornering, I think, is really interesting. Do they stop before the corner? Do they fly around the corner?
Sounds like speed to me.
But maybe you have to stop. Okay, fine. Are they stopping at stop signs that are in the facility where you must stop? And then you could also even start interacting with what they're doing. So what's the workflow look like? What does the kind of spaghetti diagram of pickup and drop off location look like? And so you can try to figure out if your workflow is efficient. What could you do with Kibsi in a waste management facility?
All right, so in a waste management facility, there's obviously trucks coming and going.
Yeah.
I think the flow rate is really important there to understand how long are trucks waiting before they can dump their load. Yep. and get going. So I think there's a lot of really interesting insights you can get by just looking at the trucks coming and going. I know there's some facilities do sorting where they go through the recycling. I think monitoring how often people are throwing things out of the recycling lane gives you an indication of the quality of the materials coming in terms of are they recyclable or not. There's a lot of equipment you can monitor for making sure it's running. If it's not, monitoring how long has it stopped. Are people having to intervene when those stoppages are occurring? And then along the same veins, number 4 is safety around those equipment. A lot of things in there, I imagine, can hurt you. So making sure people are in the right places at the right time, I imagine is very important there.
Oh, look at that. That's a bonus point. How about an LTL trucking facility, a warehouse where they do dock-to-dock, sort of cross-dock loading?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because not a lot of staging going on. So I think speed is the game there. Speed is the name of the game there. So figuring out how long do you have to stage pallets of product or whatever it is before it can get going is going to be really interesting and tell you about efficiency and potentially lost dollars. Figuring out where you place that product is also important, right? You don't want to lose time trying to find a pallet that needs to go out and have a truck wait. And similarly, in that same vein, is how long are the trucks sitting around waiting? How long does it take to completely load?